Here's one on your boy Lionel, class of 2009, back with another episode of PV versus everybody. And see, y'all thought everybody only meant SWAC schools, EAC schools, a couple CAA schools. Now we meant everybody. That includes the Southland too. So we got a special guest in the building today, though. Talk a little bit about Northwestern State football, right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to bring him up in a second, man. Mike from Sideline Sports Network, Demonland. But before we get into it, you already know what it is, man. Listen, you got to follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, PV_versus_ everybody. All right, make sure you follow us on both platforms. Listen, we got some great things. When I say we got some great things coming, we got some great things coming. Like, we're working on some mini docs. We're putting out some more print content as well. So you definitely want to follow us on both platforms because we're getting things rolling, getting things going. Really going to be digging into some of the history, right? PV athletics, SWAC sports. And so you definitely want to check that content and that information. Got to follow us on both of those platforms. If you have not liked this video and subscribed to the channel, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, right? Share some love, right? The goal is 1,000 subscribers. We're pushing towards 900 right now. And so if you're watching the content, if you watch more than one time, right? If you watch the content more than one time, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Show some love there, right? We've been having some great deep dives. We're going to have another great deep dive tonight. But before we get into it, man, y'all don't know what we got to do, man. We got to talk about the home team. And first and foremost, we got to talk about my guy, Jeff McKissick. Now, listen, I work with your boy Jeff. See, y'all think that I got some of these people on here simply because, no, listen, I work with both of my sponsors, right? You know what I'm saying? Your boy got his real estate license here in Houston, Texas. And listen, one guy that I send my clients to is PV alumni Jeff McKissick, right? He's a Texas licensed loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage Company, and he'll guide you seamlessly through the home buying process. See, many of us are unaware of our credit score, our true financial situation, but Jeff will help you develop a step-by-step plan to help you improve your financial standing and make your dream of owning a home achievable sooner than you think. He understands your financial situation may not be perfect, but listen, that's okay. The sooner you start the conversation is the sooner you can solve issues like credit and student loan debt. So don't let the fear of achieving new heights hold you back from the home of your dreams. Perfect for your growing family or for hosting those PV watch parties. Get started now on taking the first steps towards your new home and taking the next big step in your life. Don't delay. Talk with Jeff today so you can be in your home tomorrow. And he looks forward to speaking with you soon. And listen, once we get the loan in place, and once your boy helps you to find the right property, you already know, man. We got to hit up big, right? We got to hit up big because when you're thinking big about your home purchase and you want a thorough assessment of your biggest investment, you owe it to yourself to contact Big. That's Blueprint Improvement Group. Big provides home inspections in the greater Houston area and is owned and operated by proud mechanical engineer alum Neil Harris. He has experienced inspectors who use advanced tools and techniques to assess every aspect of the property. We're talking about from the roof to the foundation. So listen, visit thinkbig.com or text 713-259-0673 to book your home inspection. Support the team that supports the team. Listen, I just needed my boy. I just needed my boy to help me out. Listen, did the home inspections like, hey man, we got to get the termite inspection in because we need to get the property closed. You feel me? We had took care of it, right? So listen, if you need somebody to, and you might say, hey, we're not just homes that you yourself are going to purchase, right? Some of y'all out here trying to be investors. All right, you need to have an inspector on your team. And Neil is a great inspector to have on your team, man. And him and his team, right, to have on your team, so you can make the right decision even in terms of that too, man. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna bring up on the screen my guy, Mr. Mike. How you doing, sir? I know he's joining us on audio today. How you doing, my guy?
Oh, I'm doing fine today. I'm great. How are you guys?
Oh man, we're doing good over here at PV Nation. You know what I'm saying? We're getting ready for an awesome season. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually happy, right, that you guys will get a chance to witness history. Y'all get to be a part of history this year. You know what I'm saying? Because we about to be awesome. About to be an awesome season this year.
I guess
But yeah, man. So first and foremost, I know you're coming on from Northwestern State. Just talk a little bit about, listen, you are the first PWI representative we've had on the channel. So first of all, man, y'all give it up for my guy Mike. He's making history right now. You know what I'm saying? So you're the first PWI representative on the channel, man. But just talk a little bit about your connection with Northwestern State, right? When were you on campus? When you go to school, did you play sports, right? Just talk a little bit about your connection with Northwestern State and also the athletics, and also how you came to be the representative for Sideline Sports Network.
uh, my connection with Northwest State is like I'm an alum. It goes back as far as like '98, my freshman year on campus.
Mm,
I left, joined the military like 2000, came back, finished up, retired. I want to say from the military. I want to say 2021. And I think around about 2018, I was on, social media and I noticed that there wasn't any like fan pages or anything representing the school. So I just made one and over the years it just grew.
mm,
So that's the reason I started. I think Sideline reached out to me, I want to say this time last year, and they came to me first, and then I was like, let me think about it. And then right when the season started, we switched. I went on and said, yeah, I'll do it, and link with them because they wanted to get. I think sideline goal was try to get every school in the Southland represented.
mm,
And I think so far they reached out to. I want to say I was basically the spearhead, so I connected them with like a few of them. Some of them had Barstool accounts, some had, their own little fan page, but nothing like really connecting with you. 'Cause I have a list of pretty much I made on social media of everything Southland. And I have another one made of everything FCS schools, like fan pages, school football teams,
mm.
coaches, everything. So I just had that list on my feed, and I click over every now and then just see what's going on around the country, around the swag, around everything. Because I know Southland and swag kind of like overlap each
Yeah,
other,
for sure.
but especially the Louisiana and Texas schools. I don't
Yes.
think we usually play like the ones in the East. That we don't go too far east. I don't think we played FAMU in a while. But though Cookman, I think some schools have played in a while. Well, yeah, I might take that back. I think the last time FAMU played. a Southland school was when they played Southeastern in the playoffs, I think a couple years ago.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And I
We
remember
don't want to
FAMU
remember.
fans.
We don't want to remember that one, but yes, that did
Yeah, I
happen.
remember FAMU fans was upset and all this stuff, saying how they was treated in Hammond or whatever. But that kind of like blew over. But like I said, I keep an ear to FCS football. Um, I always keep an eye on who's coming up, who's conference realignment and all this stuff. So I pay attention to all that. So,
That's
but yeah,
dope.
that's my connection. I went to Northwestern by with the intention of playing basketball.
Okay.
When I got there by the coach that recruited me, he got fired like after my freshman year, and you know how they go. You know, new coaches come in, bring their own guys and everything. So I pretty much that's when I joined the military. It wasn't no transfer portal back then or anything. So
Couldn't jump in the portal, right?
nah, I wish I knew about the portal back then. I would have probably been there, but I'm glad I stayed though. So it's cool.
That makes sense, man. Hey, listen.
But yeah, like I say, I'm very well versed with the swag because my whole family is pretty much Grambling alumni.
Okay.
And I go to the State Fair Classic because I live in the Shreveport area. I'm from Houston area, but I live in the Shreveport area. But yes, the Prairie View and Grambling is very well known in this area. And like I say, Shreveport area makes that treks to Dallas very frequently. If
Yeah.
it's for a Cowboy game, it's gonna be for the Grambling Prairie View game. If it ain't for the Grand Prairie View game, it's for a Cowboys game. So
Yeah. Saying that, man, before we jump into Northwestern State talk, how do you feel about the Grambling versus Langston game that's going to be in Shreveport? Do you think that's going to really do well since you're from the area?
well, my thing is for the area, it seemed like it was thrown up in the last minute.
Mm,
It wasn't nothing that was talked about. Like usually they give it like a year in advance. Because if one thing is gonna be, it's gonna be hot out there. It's August. And that if the heat is gonna make it hard to get fans out. And it's football season. Shreveport area takes football just as serious as Texas. It might not have the facilities, but the
for sure. Yeah,
Shreveport
North
Bossier
Louisiana
area,
for sure.
yeah, most of Louisiana, they gonna go to a
Monroe,
football game.
Monroe, Shreveport, Bossier. Well, yeah.
And my thing is with being in the Shreveport area, now I will admit, since 50 Cent had came up here, they are updating their venues as far as party and everything. So it might work out. It's Labor Day weekend because I know Alcorn playing in Natchitoches that Thursday.
Hmm.
Grambling playing that weekend. So I don't. With Shreveport, it's a hit and a miss. And
Mm.
Langston, I don't think it have a big enough alumni or fan base in the Shreveport area. We have people that went there, but I don't think they have. I don't think they travel that well to Shreveport.
Yeah, I know they got people in the Dallas area, so it'd be interesting to see if they
They
may.
may because it's Labor Day weekend, but like I say, I don't think they're gonna fill up the stadium because I remember Northwestern and Shreveport. I think Northwestern and Grambling played the Independence Stadium, and it kind of filled up, but in the end, it was hot.
What time is that
So
game? Is that game not a night game though? That's
it
not a
better
night.
be a night game. Even at 6 o'clock though, at night in August, it's still gonna be hot
Yeah.
because it's not no breeze. It's off the interstate. It's uh, all I can say is they better hold 50 Cent hop on.
7 o'clock. It says 7 o'clock, so it is going to at least be, it's going to be a night game for sure. So,
Yeah, but like I say, Grambling has a huge alumni in the area, so they fans gonna be there.
right.
It's just this Langston gonna bring their crowd, which they may, because I don't think they usually play here. I think the only time they come, but they do go to Grambling. I don't know what it look like in Grambling,
Gotcha.
because
Okay.
I know Grambling want to get that tune-up game before they carry their tails up to Ohio State and play defending champion after playing
Yeah, that ain't
Texas.
even. They ain't even tuning them for that. They really tuning up for us because they got them. They got Ohio State. Then they got I think Kentucky State, and then no, I think they got another game before they play Prairie View. But the first, yeah, I think it's Prairie View after Kentucky State. So I mean that they got two D2 schools and not even D2, right? But
And
one
see,
school, and then they got Ohio State basically.
and
So
then like I say, Northwestern after the Alcorn game have two power four schools back to back on the road. They go to Minnesota and they go to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Then
we're
they
gonna
come back and play Prairie View.
too as well. We're gonna definitely look into that schedule. So to start out, before we get into 2025, let's talk about a recap, man, from last
Oh,
year.
please, please don't, please don't. I was so disgusted, so disgusted.
Obviously, and you coming back from the '90s, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Northwestern has had some good teams throughout the years, right? You know what I mean?
yeah. Like when I was in school, I didn't even know anything about LCS. I just knew that I was friends with the football team, and I just seen a bunch of NFL scouts in the dorm rooms, and I didn't know why they was there. But then I was like, because I just thought that was normal. Like they was ranked number two in the nation. They was one
Right,
game away from the title game. I was like, oh, this is just normal.
right.
Little did I know that that was going to be the almost end of the era.
Yeah.
I took it for granted.
And so how that experience obviously had to be tough, right? To come into school, right, during that period of time when Northwestern State was still, I mean, rocking out. Right? I think I saw one post you shared too recently on Twitter where you showed basically like when you guys were ranked like number 4 that year, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
In the FCS one AA polls. But now, obviously, going through this lull and there's really a drop, right? It's been years even since you guys have been above 500, right?
I
And
think the last time it was 500, like 2009.
yeah, yeah. So, do you feel like when you look back at last year, not the game, right? Obviously, the games we know you guys wasn't able to get one in, but
We almost got one. I was
and,
at that
and, I,
game.
and I hate that the one that y'all almost got was the 1 yard situation. Because first of all, I was that game definitely made me so upset because hot man, we had like 3 pass interference penalties on this last drive. I'm like, listen, you gotta make a decision at some point to get this gentleman out because right now he's just not gonna play assignment football, right?
If we would have picked on him earlier, we probably would have took the lead.
Oh
But
my goodness.
I was more upset with the final play call.
Oh, you
I
know,
didn't
like
understand. I because it was on the goal line with no time left, and they tried to do the sneak when the Prairie View. Oh, they knew it was coming, and you could have did a bootleg, a naked bootleg, and he could have walked on in for the touchdown. But
yeah, yeah. Or maybe put him in a situation where maybe he's 1-on-one with a linebacker or a safety, right? And obviously JT was big, right? So he probably could still get in, right? You know what I mean? So
and the one thing the one thing I loved about that game that impressed me the most was that receiver for Prairie View. He was nice. He was in.
yeah,
Is he in a camp right now? Is he at he latched on to
no,
some
so he
NFL
actually
team?
because of the JUCO ruling, he actually got another year, and
So he's
so
back.
he actually transferred to Jackson State, so he's at Jackson right now.
Ooh, they got a nice one. Cause I was listening to that. I heard they say he was like working out with NFL receivers during the summertime and all stuff. I think he's nice.
Yeah,
He
working
should
out
at
with
least been. He should at least been in the Sun Belt. Cause he's
yeah,
nice.
working out with another PV NFL receiver too in the
The one
offseason.
for Atlanta, right? Yeah, the
Yeah,
one that
Dale
played for the
Hyde.
Falcons.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Dale
he that receiver that y'all had last year. He was man. He was
very
smooth.
disciplined.
Like
So
I know I pay
that game
attention to
was the most
receivers.
undisciplined game we played. It was hard because even the before y'all shouldn't even got the ball back. Like we were running the ball, and then the offensive lineman got a penalty on like before a third down and like 1, right? When we could have just got the first down and ran out the clock, and he had a personal foul penalty. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Even if you just waited until we run one more play and then got a penalty, it wouldn't even affect the game at that point in time, right? Because we run the clock out. Like it's just the stuff we did last year, man. We were so undisciplined. It was very, very bad. Very yeah, and that was his best game last year. That Northwestern game was his best game last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I DBs. I'm giving that a mulligan for last year, being that how the season prior ended, and that was the coach's, first season, and he had a bunch of veterans, upperclassmen transferred out,
Hmm.
and I think we was like the youngest team
Yeah.
in FCS last year because we had a bunch of freshmen
Yeah.
starting. And
And then
this year, I can see there's a shift because I think it's more focused on defense
hmm
for the simple reason that I seen all the FBS transfers that came in, and all of them was defense.
yeah, and I
All of
know
them. Like I think it was only like one tight end that came in from the class.
yeah, I think
Uh,
you had
this
a
this.
one receiver and one tight end.
Yeah, I think we got both of them was all DBs and linemen.
Yeah. And the offensive lineman. That's the other thing.
Yeah, so I think their goal is to be focused on defense more. I guess they try to slow them down because defense you can probably coach up. And if defense keep you in the game, is
Sure.
you can minimize the offense if the
That's true.
defense is there to keep the. If you can muddy the game up, like I say, like if you run the ball and just play defense, you can muddy the game up. But I think that was the closest victory we had. We had some good games, like I want to say first, we had some good halves. And
Mm.
then the second half, you could tell the teams made adjustments, and then it just blew it open. So I gave him a money because he was basically our freshman. The only difference is with that philosophy is that because of the transfer portal, playing freshmen like that, it's hard to keep that group together for year to year.
Hmm.
Like if you played a bunch of freshmen, like in the like say like in before transfer portal, by the time they got to their junior senior year, there'll be a problem because they went through it all their game time and everything. But now freshmen don't like they playing time. They don't like how it going. Bam, bam, bam. Because we had our two best players are now playing for Arizona.
Gotcha.
The linebacker that led the nations in tackles and All American, but didn't make
They got you.
Southland,
Right.
didn't make All Conference. He's playing for Arizona now. The receiver, our best receiver, he's playing for San Diego State, and then the other defensive lineman, Chandler Owens, he's going to Arizona too. So
Yeah.
they're
You
watching you.
like you lost some big pieces. Yeah. You didn't lose a lot of pieces per se, right? But you did lose some big pieces. Some
Yeah, I think
consistent pieces.
Miles Kidd didn't. I think he was a grad transfer though, so he was gonna dip anyway.
Yeah.
But the other two was like sophomores. And see what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Archer
if
and
they
Owens, yeah, both were sophomores. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, so if you do good in your sophomore year, there's no guarantee. If you banking on him to come back, there's no way that he coming back.
No
There's no
guarantee.
guarantee that he's gonna be back next year. So it's hard to like build up. To me, keep sustain a program unless you recruiting well and developing well. So.
So, do you feel like, from a coaching standpoint, right? And we can get into this. Do you feel like that this head coach and this coaching staff has the ability to develop through the high school ranks, right? And do you believe in kind of the program they're looking to build? Because they obviously are going the high school route, and they're also going the Louisiana route, right? They're looking to get guys from the state, guys maybe who've gone out to other programs, right, and bring that talent back in state. That seems like it's the model that this coaching staff is going with.
Well,
So
he said that when he got hired though. He said that he wants to recruit the state. He wants to lock in, key players from the state. So he said that from the when he got hired. So I like that. It's like I say, it's just going to be hard to get that. But like I say, with the improvement of the facilities and I guess they opt into the revenue sharing, it may help down the line because the way that I see the the recruiting coming out, if you're not like a top 300 player, you're gonna have to go to a LCS or a G6 school just to get up to that level because a
right,
lot of these coaches are just digging out the transfer portal. They recruiting from I call it the farm system, and it could work both ways too though. So if the player that you got up there, the Power Five level, they not getting playing time, they may have to go down to the Sun Belt or the Southland or the SWAC just to go back up. Sometimes you might have to take that detour, and it may work out in everybody's favor. But like I say, I feel sorry for like high school kids because if you're not top 300 in your recruit class, good luck. I suggest find a school that fit your skill set and everything
right.
to your liking, and just like I say, just put something on film
So do you, so you
because
don't so you kind of feel like this is a trend that's going to continue, essentially, as when y'all do get guys that's in as young freshmen, sophomores, right, and they kind of pop off. You think that trend will continue of guys kind of uh, leaving out the program after that time period?
uh, pretty much if you're not in the playoffs or competing, because like say UIW built their system overnight. It felt like cause they done had new coaches and everything, and it still is like the same system
Hmm.
over and over again. It's like if you built that offensive system and that coaching system, it doesn't matter who's there. You just got to make yourself attractive to other schools, and that includes just your people. Like they say, you got to always be recruit, always be recruit. And so if you got a guy that's because they don't contact you, there's no way, there's no tampering that can be. It hasn't been solved yet. Tampering because coaches
Hmm.
complain about it at every level. And like I said, if your school playing this Power Five school and your one guy that you know that's good on your team, he go out there and he does well against that Power Five school. They may lose, but he does well. Coaches spot that. Who's to say somebody checking and it's after the fourth game? Who's to say that that coach is not in that have a player from that team in that other player's DM saying, "Hey, coach, they get in the portal. He got something for you."
Hmm.
So I know it ain't gonna be it's gonna be hard to stop. But like I say, long as you got that offensive system that always work, you gonna
Hmm.
always look attractive to. Because UIW gets like a Power Five player every offseason, a key offensive player, quarterback. And now they got Cam Ward to promote. Like, hey, you can start here and end up winning the Heisman.
That was crazy. Hey, listen, that was such smart marketing.
And
When they
I'm
dropped that for sure.
and I'm a Texans fan, and I'm not going against the Titans because Cam Ward is sitting there. And I too try to tell everybody, the Texans fan, I'm like, hey, I watched this kid come in my conference
Yeah.
and tear it up. And I seen him do it at Washington State, and I see him do it in Miami. Now I ain't no telling what he gonna. I'm not putting nothing past him at Tennessee because I've seen him do it at every level.
And I
So
think it's
like,
interesting, hearing you, talk about just the transfers and kind of that mode, because I think that's one thing that's been beneficial for HBCU schools is because because the culture of the just university, right, is very unique, and I know you have seen and experienced it just by the connection with your family, right, and grandma. It I feel like it does give schools a little leg up because it's not just in like most programs where, hey, I'm coming to play ball, right? You know what I'm saying? Um, there is another there is another aspect to the school environment that kind of gives them a chance to say, man, I actually like being here though, right? You know what I'm saying? Outside of just the ball that I get to play, right? And regardless, NIL money is going to be enticing for a lot of people when it's there. But I feel like I've seen a lot of guys come to programs like in the SWAC, in the MEAC, right, and be willing to stick around um, for a longer period of time, right? Then, and the only other places I see that is the higher tier FCS schools, right? Or like you mentioned, like a UIW, for example. And I feel like that's because just the winning culture of those programs have, and they believe that, hey, I could actually go to a school like this or like a South Dakota State or North Dakota State, et cetera, and I can still get looks, right? I can still get a chance at the league, even being here, though I may not go to a bigger G5 or Power Four program. But I feel like everywhere else in the FCS, you don't get that same shape, right? Like you don't have those same things to lean on. So I think that's something that unique that we have as HBCUs that I think we need to continue to lean into, right? You know what I mean? Because it's really beneficial. You know what I mean?
well, that's the one thing that I I pretty much I'm hard on LCS schools that don't promote. And that's another thing that you got to understand that at the LCS level, given that you have social media, your social media page should be promoting your best player at all times because other kids see that. Because a lot of these things, because there's a lot of bad Power Four schools in in college football, but they have great promotions. So
Mhm.
when it comes time to like, even if you don't have a player that may not get drafted, your pro day is there to get scouts there. Because one thing I know about the NFL, it don't matter what school you go to.
For
If
sure.
you can ball, you can ball. And that's one thing I can say that's totally different from NFL scouts to NBA scouts. NBA scouts trying to find players worldwide.
Right.
NFL scouts, they got scouts by region. And I know because I check my follow list every time on social media, and I have a lot of NFL scouts following my page. That's why I try to promote, the football players just as good. But it's hard to get content when the school is not providing content for you.
Mm.
And that's why I be trying to stress every now, like, hey, post content. Like, you should post summer workout, post a hype video. I say you can get one of these kids that's in the dorm that can put together a TikTok video.
Exactly.
So
Wow.
that's why, like,
We had these
it,
same conversations. That's why it's so funny. We literally have these
and
same conversations in our
that's
space.
what get me frustrated about my schools and other schools LCS level. Like, you can go viral anytime. If
Hmm.
your player makes a cold player, I don't care what the score is, promote that player. That's how, because scouts are on social media too. They even be posting like, hey, this guy here did good at this. He came from this conference. Like, our last player, offensive player of the year, Jazz Ferguson. I promoted the mess out of him. And he didn't get drafted, but he ended up getting to the NFL combine.
Mm.
And yeah, he was like I think the last Southland player to get invited to the combine. And it was on. That's when the combine was on regular. That's when they first started putting on NFL Network and ABC.
Right.
Now he didn't get drafted, but he got an invite to Seattle camp, and he did good during camp. He just got cut at the last minute because they went with the other receiver. But that's what I was saying. Like, promoting your program on social media shouldn't cost that much.
Hmm.
Even if you do go get a content creator, a creative team, they already be bragging about they don't make that much money, so you can do it just to build your portfolio. You can make it an intern, you can do anything, and just have them follow your team around with a camera for practice, game days. Like, it's a lot of missed opportunities that I see teams miss to promote their team because they still thinking, well, we're a small school. Duke is a small school. They ain't but 7,000 people up there, but they move like a big school.
Right.
Tulane is a small school. They move like a big school. So it's all about your mindset to me is how you want to promote your players because believe it or not, these kids, this generation live on social media. TikTok, Facebook, I mean not Facebook, Instagram. They like to see themselves promoted. And if your
Right.
if your players don't feel they get promoted at their school and they already at a small school anyway, they're gonna hop in the transfer portal anyway because they feel like I'm not getting the recognition that I feel I deserve, or my school is not recognizing me properly. So they'll hop in the portal because they go to a school that's probably be just in the conference. But as long as that conference is showing promotion of their players, they gonna get them. They gonna attract more people because the kids trying to get promoted. They want to be seen. They want
Hmm.
something to show to their friends and families. And like I say, scouts are on social media.
No, for sure.
They'll reach out to you. So
That's a
that's
good
why.
point. I
And
mean,
like your
yeah.
pro days, like they'll have a pro day and won't promote it. Like most, I've seen North Dakota State, like, hey, we got such pro days. They'll show they have special T-shirts and uniform. Even before the pro day, they'll put out like, hey, these are the pro day outfits for our seniors and our juniors who are entering the draft, who's trying to
Mm.
get promoted. And it'd be a special T-shirt that say, such and such pro day and they have the school logo on it. That's free promotion. Cause now kids be like, oh, they have pro days here. They pro days, they had 25 scouts there. They had 28 scouts. Oh, I may consider them now. And
Right.
you're not just promoting the high schoolers, you're promoting to people that are at the G5 level who may have to come down to get on. Cause like I say, NFL since their history, they'll show you that Tyreek Hill went to what, University of West Alabama
Hmm.
from Oklahoma State. The guy I mentioned, Jazz Ferguson, he was from LSU, came to Northwestern. His
Right.
brother was at Louisiana Tech. It's a lot, like say, kids see this because they're on social media. They may not be active as like retweeting or on there, but they're on there. They might be ghost, what do we call it? Ghost tweeting, where they just scrolling, ghost scrolling. That's what it is. They're on there. So
And it's
that's all.
important, and I think it's big. That's why I've been loving, what Coach Jackson has been doing here so far at Prairie View because, at the end of the day, like that's how you put your program out there, right? That's how you get
Yeah.
your program to be seen by, by people from everywhere. So, It's definitely huge, man. So I know you were talking about a little bit about the transfers too as well. I wanted to get into that a little bit. Uh, I know you already mentioned that you lost Blake Gotcher, right, Chancellor Owens, Miles Kidd Denton. Um, I I don't think JT fired, right, was you know I don't perceive that as a big loss, right. Um,
I don't need it because I think he was toward the end of the year. He started split time with Hawkins,
right,
the
kind of
Grambling QB.
yeah, he's kind of a glorified running back in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Hawkins
Honestly,
has an arm. He just doesn't have the accuracy.
yeah. So
And
that's not an
I think
easy
that was
loss.
his knock at Grambling too, though. He had the arm. He just couldn't. Because I know he lost his spot at Grambling too to like a freshman or something like that.
Which is why he came down to Northwestern, right? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so we also picked up a couple players from you guys, right? William White, who looked great in the spring game, by the way, and
Yeah.
Javon
He's
Jones,
solid. He's solid.
6'6", and then also Camden Hardy. I think that was another DB, right, that left out and went over to Jackson, right? But then you did add a couple pieces in the portal, right? You mentioned how it was defense heavy, right? Got the defensive end for Abilene Christian, Elijah Sims. Also, Quentin Cook coming over from Texas Southern. Linebacker from Liberty, Barrett Newman. Also, being a venue from Louisiana, of course, Lafayette, right? They just want to be Louisiana now, right? You know what I mean? And then
Well, he's from Natchitoches though, so he just came back home.
right, right. So, but one thing that was interesting was that it was a good mix of kind of seniors, right, and a couple red shirt freshmen that's brought over. So it really seems as if the team is focused on the development aspect and looking to build. It almost reminds me of UTRGV, to be honest, right? Even though that's a completely new program, I feel like what I'm seeing from Northwestern and the coaching staff is the same thing I'm seeing at UTRGV. Obviously, they started with a bunch load of freshmen, right, and then redshirt freshmen, and they're just looking to build, right, and develop over time. Do you feel like that again next year, right? You want to see some improvement, but do you feel like that third, fourth year with this staff that's in place that you guys can vie for a championship with the talent that you guys have brought in, especially through the high school ranks, or do you feel like the talent still is not at the level you need it to be to compete with the UI does with the Nickel State, right, etc.
Um, I don't I can't really call that right now because I know every now and then because just remember 2 years prior, Northwestern was in the running for the conference championship. It was like a three-way tie. And I know we beat UI Dub before with Cam Ward there. That was a shootout, but it can happen with the right quarterback. And that's why I say that I think the main focus at Northwestern is to make sure the quarterback is right.
Yeah,
Everything else will fall in place if the quarterback is playing right. So you got to make sure you have solid receivers. It is one kid that's coming in that I'm excited about. I think he holds the record for passing yards and touchdowns in the state of Louisiana. And you think about all the quarterbacks that came through Louisiana, like Peyton Manning and all this stuff, and he chose Northwestern. I think he's out of airline. Ben Taylor. Um, he just got on campus. I want to say, what's today? Wednesday, Monday, yesterday or Monday. I think the freshmen are arrived on campus. All
that's
the
big. I
freshmen.
didn't even know. I didn't see him. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a big sign.
Well, you like me. I went through the roster. I think in June, and I was nervous because I was like, well, wait a minute. He signed. He ain't on the official roster. I was like, well, what's going on? And then I seen yesterday that all the freshmen student athletes they got something I guess they just started called the Bridge Program.
Okay.
All the freshman student athletes showed up yesterday for football, basketball, baseball, track, soccer, and they all moved into their dorm. I said, oh, so this is something new they did because usually I know they had the freshmen come down in June, but I guess they started in July. So I expect he gonna probably be redshirt because they had another solid quarterback out of Baton Rouge, Parkview Baptist, that was kind of similar to him, and he redshirted last year. He played like one game, and I think he threw for like 300 yards.
Hmm.
And then I think that was toward the end of the year. So But the quarterback they have now is Eli Anderson. I think he's going to probably be a starter because he's a
Yeah,
senior.
yeah, he's the only
I
senior
know.
that's starting that quarterback room. I think you got two redshirt freshmen. Now you got the freshman coming in from Airline, and then you got
Yeah,
him as senior.
and
Yeah,
and I don't think the roster is complete because they opened up a new portal. I think last this week for like a month.
yeah. I think that's only for like kind of those designated student athletes, right? That kind of was in limbo because they changed the rules on how many kids you can have on the roster. So it's only
Yeah, and
those specific guys. It's not necessarily a complete, window for everybody.
yeah, but they have like I say, everything got to fall in place with the quarterback.
I got you.
But I think playing these two bye games early, I'm not gonna. I'm only looking at the Alcorn game and the Prairie View game. The Minnesota and the Cincinnati game, I'm just chalking that up as a
Oh,
money
yeah,
game.
of course, obviously, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That
so
makes
I can't really gauge nothing like something from that unless it get close, then I'm gonna talk noise like everybody else. But just like when we was up on that LSU team in 2019, and we had the lead at like halftime or something like that, I was talking noise to my LSU friend,
now, why
and
don't you
then
guys play Rio Grande Valley this year?
I think because I think it was only an 8 conference game schedule at first because I know Southland announced that they're going to 9 conference games next year. So
Gotcha.
I think they just it's just the luck of the draw, and I think they want to get the games that the teams that they perceive to be in the playoffs. I think last year I think it was on like a one bid when it should have been Southeastern should have made it,
Hmm.
and then it's usually going to be either Southeastern. I think the top teams this year is going to be UIW, of course. I think Stephen F. Austin is going to improve a lot more. Southeastern going to be there. Nickel's going to be there, and I think Magnesia's improved. But they have a new coach. So I don't know how many people left.
Hmm.
But I think UIW, I mean UTRV, uh, East Texas, I think, and oh yeah, I forgot about Lamar. Lamar should be up there too. They've been competitive the last few years too.
They were
So
ranked at a portion of time last year, actually.
I think the Southland is a little deeper than what everybody expected it to be. And I think the goal is the Southland is try to get multiple bids in the conference. But I
Hmm.
think they losing that large bid now because if I'm not mistaken, Ivy League is going to use
Yeah,
their conference championship this year.
yeah. Ivy League is
So
actually going to get a bid this year too. So no, ACU is in the United Athletic Conference, I believe it's called, right? The combined
yeah,
conference,
they
ASUN conference.
all
Yeah.
and which is I was confused because I didn't understand why UTA went with the football schools and not the basketball side.
Ah,
Because
yeah.
when the ASUN and the UAC split, I noticed they took all the basketball schools, but UTA stayed with the football schools in Texas. But I know UTA, I know the alumni want the football to be back.
They want, yeah. They I saw they pushing. That's a big school too, by the way. You know what I mean? So they just and similar to me, like RDGV in the sense that I think they could get rolling pretty quickly just because of the student population. That they could have some good funding for football to get
Well,
going.
that's I don't know if they're gonna get rolling that quickly. For the simple reason is, yeah, they're a big school, but it's a commuter school.
You talking about
Same way
UTA?
with Yeah, same way with UT Dallas. They got a large student body, but it's
I
all
got
commuter though. But I know they moving up to D2 though, so I think they gearing up to explore football down the line because everybody see football as a moneymaker.
you. Right.
UTRV is the wild card because I know they have a great staff from what I've
Man, they got
seen
a
their
great
history.
fan base. They averaged 13,000 at their baseball games last
I know they're in the Southland. We beat them though, so it don't matter. I'm glad y'all saw we
year.
whoop them.
So let's take a look at the
uh,
schedule real quick because I know you talked about and you and G been going back and forth today on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So that
Yeah,
all
I
kind of
don't know. He
came.
trying to hype himself up or not, but hey, I hope he got it. If he coming to Naggas, I'll ride down there and meet him face to face. Ain't no problem.
Hey, G goes to a lot of games. He pulled up to a lot of Alcorn games. Now, how you feel
Yeah,
about?
my ex went to Alcorn, so I be messing with her too. Like I know how Alcorn fans get.
How do you feel about the game with Alcorn right now? I mean, obviously you guys are coming off a year where you didn't, it wasn't well. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel like this game against Alcorn will go? Do you think you guys have a shot? Against them.
uh like I say, I always revert back to the QB play because I think it's going to be closer than what everybody think. I know everybody going to base it off last year, but like I say, it's a new team, new
Right.
year. Um, that's why I was messing with them. Yeah, I say I see y'all went 6-6, but I'm not counting that 6 win because y'all play Edward Water. That's a Division II school. I say y'all don't get no props for that. But Alcorn, now Alcorn was tough. They had a coach. That coach they had before was tough.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of his name. He was a good coach.
Yeah, we're kind of Fred there.
But I remember we played at Alcorn, I think a year or two ago, and it was close at Alcorn until like the last second. But I was like under a different coach too, though. But I think it's gonna be a competitive game. It's on a Thursday night, which I get it because that's when usually because Northwestern student body go home on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Friday at noon. They pretty much it's gonna be nothing but the locals. But they'll make state Labor Day weekend. But it should be a nice little crowd show up for that game. I don't know if the bands are coming though. Um, but yeah, it should be a competitive game. I know Alcorn got a good. They was I think that was the head coach first year last year. I know they went 6-6. I think yeah, so it should be good. The history of it. I think we usually we lead the series, don't it?
With Alcorn,
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know the answer to that. If you guys lead the series or not. Um,
No, no, no. I'll take it back. They lead the series. We lost two straight. I think we won the first game in
yeah, because I think
1982.
recently you guys definitely played them. I think once, and I think you guys didn't win
And then we
that
just started the series back up, I want to say 2 years ago.
game. Okay.
Yeah, 82, 83, and then we started 2001, we played them. 2021, we played them, and then we play them again in 2020, what's it, 2025? That was a big gap, but that's cool.
I
Yeah, so
see
this is the
Isaiah
fourth
saying,
game of the
"Are you
series.
coming to the hill on September 20th for the and against
I
PD?"
have to see how it goes because I got to see. I think my Texans play. No, they on the road. I was a season ticket holder, so I may be down enough for that. That may be an excuse for me to get back home. But like I say, I got to see how it go. I'll know in September. I put it like that. I can't call it out now in July because I don't know what my work schedule would be like. But I would love to go to be on the hill.
Be on the hill. Go down
Yeah,
the hill.
and then hit the
What's your thoughts
breakfast.
about the game with Prairie View? I know obviously they are. We got a lot of different transfers in, right? So definitely not the same team as last year. So what's your thoughts on that game too as well?
Which game now? The
On the
Prairie View game.
yeah.
Ah, like they new team. I know everybody. Basically, everybody got new teams. So I hope it's competitive. I'm gonna say I ain't gonna say it will be. I hope it's a competitive game, like it was in Natchitoches. Natchitoches, it was down to the wire. It was a good game. It was
Mhm.
frustrating to watch, like the first 3 quarters, but that last quarter was very entertaining. So if we keep it like that, I just wish our fan base traveled well, and that's the only thing that I kind of like don't like
Do you
about it.
guys travel? Do you guys travel pretty well or no?
They travel when it's to like if it's LSU.
Hmm.
They'll travel to LSU. So now I will say this: they have been traveling better lately. They
Okay.
have been traveling to because I remember for some reason I didn't know we had that large of a fan base in San Antonio when we played UIW. I didn't know I could hear it on the TV. I was like, well, man, we got a fan base up there. We got a few. We have alumni chapter in Houston. I know we got alumni chapter in Dallas. When we go to, I think Southland been trying to make us in East Texas like rivalry. They're trying to start a rivalry or something because they always put us together. I know we travel partners, but I don't mind because I know we have an alumni chapter in the DFW area. But I just been noticing. I'm like, but we travel up there though, and then like I think we play Louisiana Tech. They gonna travel to there. They travel to Grambling. I think it wasn't as deep though. But
Okay.
Grambling fans travel to Natchez pretty heavy because it ain't
Yeah.
nothing but like a
Yeah, that's a short
45-minute
drive.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it when the SWAC and the Southland play each other. I think that should be like a series.
It seems like with
Like,
this check with the Texas Louisiana schools and Alcorn, it is not the whole SWAC, but I
yeah,
definitely
it's just that
wish the
Alabama
South
side.
the SWAC to do better in this football games against the Southland because I can't stand for us to use all these Southland teams. Like it just gets on my nerves, on my last
Yeah,
nerve.
because I saw Alcorn got spanked by McNeese last year.
Yeah, that
I think it was
wasn't
like
good. But
42
now,
to
but
10
now
or something like
Alcorn
that.
beat McNeese the year before that though, so it
Yeah,
was
that's
it was
why
a get
McNeese
back.
fired their coach. But
Um,
I know when I was in school, we used to play Southern every weekend. That used to be Northwestern biggest game. Like they had to bring in bleachers for
mm,
the because it'd be so because people don't notice about Natchez have a lot of people from the Baton Rouge, New Orleans that relocated to Natchez. There's a lot of Creole people there, so there's a lot of connections between Natchez and Baton Rouge and Lafayette with Natchez. That whole Creole pipeline, and it's for some reason when I was in school, they used to make us go to the office to get the physical ticket because you couldn't just flash your ID back then. You had to have the physical ticket because they knew Southern was coming with the band. Our band don't even show up. They just they give Southern our band section.
mm.
But I used to love those games because it'd be packed. I had my cousin. He was going to Southern. That's how he got disowned by the family because all the family with the Grambling. I was my favorite. I was their favorite nephew while he was at Southern. So
So you were good basically.
yeah, it was Thanksgiving. He was like, nephew, where you going? I said, man, I got Scotch to Northwestern. Go to my cousin. Where you going? I'm going to Southern. Nephew, how much he turned back to me? Nephew, how much money you need for school?
So funny.
So
Nah, but that's what's up. And overall, man, what do you think y'all are going to be able to do in the Southland this year? Do you think you guys will kind of be able to be kind of middle of the pack, or have a chance to kind of maybe get one that you wasn't expecting to get? Um,
um, it was one game that we should have had. I can't remember. Oh, we had played Southeastern close, but I think Southeastern was like taking Northwestern lightly that game. But that's a low key rivalry game. Because I think if a lot of the teams, they see that record, oh, we're gonna win by this and that, and then the team is playing hard, then they gotta turn it on in the fourth quarter. So, um, all the games that I'm keeping an eye on because they all got new coaches too. East Texas, I think that should be a good game. We don't play UTRGV. I was hoping for that one. Now, the one school that's been shocking me lately that ain't nobody really talking about is HCU.
okay.
For some reason, they've been scoring a lot of points lately, more than they normally do. And they think they put up like 60 on us.
Oh
And
wow.
that ain't never happened, but they've been in the conference. And I've been noticing, 'cause, they finally had their first draft pick and he won Super Bowl this year with the Eagles. I think he drafted in the third round last season.
Hmm.
The Hunt kid. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on ACU. Lamar was closer to like say we put together quarters, we haven't put together a complete game. So it's teams that can be beat, but it's some teams that can just blow us out too, though. Like the UIW, I might just watch that on ESPN Plus.
I got that's
Uh,
funny.
Southeastern gonna be good. Like say, I've got us still at the bottom. Now, I saw the field still preseason poll, which I don't really care for
Say it
preseason
again.
polls.
You kind of breaking up. You say you got it. Y'all you said 2 and 5.
No, I got the Fields. What is his name? Phil Steele. He did the little Southland preview in this little magazine,
Uh huh.
and he got us right above UTRGV, which basically means he expects us to be bad again too. But like I said, I don't really care about preseason polls because you still got to put the work in. So
For sure.
I see schools that get picked last. Like prime example, Arizona State was picked last year, and they was in the playoffs. So
Right.
it's on the team if they want to be good. Like you can use that as motivation, or you can just like, well, you can prove them right. So it ain't nothing but a guess, and it's based off last year. So I got us like toward middle to the bottom. I'm gonna say it like that. Now we
Gotcha.
come out go 10-0 or something. I'm talking North. I'm letting you know that right now. I'm gonna be like, rank us. We want Bama. We want North Dakota State.
That's so funny. Well, I don't foresee that happen, but hopefully you guys can start building some momentum toward that. Maybe in
Well, like I say,
years out.
if they get 2 wins, that's a plus.
That's progress. That's what I'm saying. I'm
And
saying like, yeah, you guys can build toward that, right? You know what I mean? And so you just want to see some progress this year, right? You know what I'm saying? You
and
got
I
a
would
lot of young guys coming
I
back. You just want to see some guys building toward that and showing that this coaching staff can get the job done, right? That's really what you want to see.
I will say this about the AD. Every coach that he didn't hire, they have improved every year. I will say that the baseball coach, his first year was kind of iffy. The second year, they improved by 13 games, contract extension. The basketball coach, 9 wins the next year. They like won like 16 or 17 games, improved. Women's basketball coach, same thing. So I will say that he does give them time to improve. And they
Hmm.
didn't improve year to year. So, and I've seen his track record at his last school when he was a D2. They didn't start off too well either. I've seen coaches come in the season be 1-12 or 1-11, and by the third year they win in the conference. So you gotta get your players to buy in. So I will say that every coach at Northwest State after their first year has improved.
No, that
So
makes a lot of sense. And
so
again, man, it's gonna
it's
be
all about
interesting
how
to see you
patient.
guys. Say it again.
To me, it's all about how patient is the alumni and the
Exactly.
AD. If you let the
Exactly.
coach build a program, because I usually the old school way it used to be like you got a recruiting class to get it together. With transfer portal, you probably get 2 to 3 years now.
Hmm.
So, but
Yeah, man.
I keep an eye on Prairie View like I always do,
Hey,
especially that
listen.
Grambling game.
It's gonna be on and popping this year, man. We water the wine. You know what I'm saying? Water the wine. And so, but man, Mike, we appreciate you for coming on and sharing with us a little bit about Northwestern State football. Any last words you got for the people, man?
Keep an eye on the defense. Cam George, he's a FBS transfer from University of Lafayette, Louisiana. His kid is like he's big. He was making some noise last year. I think he got injured a couple games, but in his senior year, I think he's gonna go all out this year. So he could cause some havoc on your offense against your offensive line.
All right. Well, hey, listen, we gonna see. I think it's gonna be interesting to see you guys play. You got two SWAC schools on the schedule, so early on, you're probably gonna really know maybe how successful you can be in the Southland after those two games early in the season. But again, appreciate you coming on, Mike. Thank you so much. And again, hey, hit them up, Sideline Sports Network. Um, Demon Land, right? You know what I'm saying? So make sure you hit
Yes.
him up on Twitter as well to connect with him. And him and G been going back. So if you ain't see him and G going back right now
Oh,
on
I'm
Twitter,
cranking it up. I'm gonna crank it up when it get close to the game.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. But I appreciate you for your time, man.
All right, I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank y'all.
Awesome. And I want to shout out, man, Miss Alicia Bell. Shout out for her grabbing her membership, becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate you for showing love. Listen, if you ain't got your YouTube membership, go ahead and get your membership, man. We're doing some great things over here. We already talked about, I had Mike on the show yesterday, man. Y'all got to go check out the live we had with my guy, Michael Winfield. I think it's very, very entertaining, right? We talked about that crumbling dynasty, Grambling over there, right? You know what I'm saying? Talked about that crumbling dynasty. We got a couple, special programs we got coming up. We're going to have a deep dive we're going to be doing for a couple of the different guys on the team. So you guys want to make sure you locked in to check those out, right? We're gonna be going through those. And listen, I got something that you guys definitely want to see. So make sure you guys. I hope you guys got your cameras ready. I know we'll be having some people snooping in the chat, right? They be snooping, what I'm saying, around. And we're gonna talk about this on Sunday too. When we got the guys coming up on Sunday, right? Because we're gonna be talking about an all SWAC watch list, right? SWAC Media Day is next week, right? Y'all know that. SWAC Media Day next week. We're going to be talking about an all SWAC watch list. But we also going to be talking about this Dave Campbell Texas football interview. Now, we're going to go through it a little bit more fuller. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take our time on Sunday, right? You know what I'm saying? And we're going to really break down the interview. But listen, there was one quote that I had to grab and bring to y'all attention. So now, all y'all who be snooping, make sure y'all go and take y'all pictures and share it out so y'all can see, all right? But there's more to this, okay? But go and take your pictures. And I'm going to drop that link in the chat real quick. If any of my guys want to jump on just to share your thoughts, briefly about this. Like I say, we're gonna jump in a little bit more deep on Sunday evening, right? This upcoming week. You know what I mean? But listen, Coach Jackson talking with Dave Campbell, Texas football, that interview he did in the Dave Campbell Texas Football Magazine. He said, listen, I'm not sure our fans really believe we can get that done in year one, right? Because he's talking about, hey, man, he believes that, yeah, we can win the West, we can win the SWAC championship, and we can go to Atlanta, right, and compete for a Celebration Bowl championship, right? He's saying we really believe we can do that, but we're going to make sure that we take our time, right, and do things well and don't make any missteps, right? But in the same token, right, while he said he believes we can do that, and he said, hey, we believe we can do that very fast, quickly, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't believe it has to take forever. And then he says, I'm not sure, though, our fans really believe we can get that done in year one. I think they want us to because it's good for them to talk noise to other people who went to other schools, right? But I hear the chatter about how it normally, see, we're talking about normalcy, but I want y'all to understand this ain't a normal program. Hey, listen, this is not a normal situation. When have you seen water turn to wine? Is water going to wine? Is that normal? Is that something that you typically see? Like every day you just walk in a room and the water gets turned to wine. Is that something that you typically see, or is that what people would even call, scriptures call it a miracle last time I checked, right? The very first one, right? You know what I'm saying? At their wedding feast in Cana, if you don't know, right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to brush up on your Bible game. You feel me? But listen, that ain't normal. It ain't normal for water to turn to wine. That's not normal. But I hear the chatter, he says, about how it normally takes me until year 3 to win. I hear how it normally takes that time. But I like how he ends the quote off. He says, listen, if you think, who is you, by the way? You might be you who are watching this television program right now. You might be one of y'all everybody's who's out there, right? You might even be one of these unbelievers in purple and gold. We might be talking to you right now. You might be an unbeliever. Oh, listen, I'm on it today, right? We've now started. Close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors, all right? Close the doors, y'all. Close the doors. Listen, you might be an unbeliever who was a part of the everybody's, or you may be an unbeliever who is actually wearing purple and gold. It don't really matter. It actually does not matter which one you are, okay? You can find your seat in any one of those two places, okay? It don't really matter. The point is, if you think it's going to take me until year 3 to win here, where's the here, by the way? Like, if y'all are following, see, if you went to a SWAC school, if you went to HBCU, you got to have comprehension skills, right? You got to be able to read and comprehend. So like, follow me. Y'all let me know in the chat. When he says here, where is here? I want y'all to put in the chat, put here equals and put where that place is. Y'all just drop that in the chat for me real quick. Here equals, and y'all put the place that it equals in the chat. I just want to make sure that we are rocking together right now. So go on, place in the chat for me. Put here equals, and y'all just place it in the chat. Here equals where? What are you talking about? Because he said, if you think it's going to take me until year 3 to win here, where's this here? Is he talking about Valdosta, Georgia? Is that what a here is? Is the here Valdosta, Georgia? Maybe the here is Colorado Mesa University. Maybe that's the here he's talking about. Maybe that's here. Here might be Colorado Mesa University. Maybe that's the here. Maybe that's what the here is. Maybe that's what the here is. Is that what the here is? Is that what the here is? Y'all let me know in the chat. Where's the here? Is the here Valdosta, Georgia? Is the here Colorado Mesa University? No. The here is the great and illustrious Prairie View A&M University. That's what a here is. That's what a here is. Listen, he say if you, the everybody, you're everybody, one of the everybody's, you, one of y'all who wearing purple and gold, but you an unbeliever. You're an unbeliever, okay? You're not a believer. You're an unbeliever in purple and gold. If you think it's going to take me until year 3 to win here, I'm a white man. Now, I don't know if y'all know who Coach Tremaine Jackson is, but the last time I checked, he was born to a black woman. That's the last time I checked. Last time I checked, I don't. Matter of fact, I think his picture's on the screen right now. He don't look like a white man to me. He definitely looks like a black man. And so let me help y'all out because I know some of y'all may not be understanding what he's saying. Y'all may not be getting that he is exaggerating. Listen. All right, listen. He's not being serious because he knows he's not white. He knows he's a black man at the great and illustrious Prairie View A&M University. And he's saying, listen, it's not going to take me 3 years to win. Let me just say it in layman's terms because y'all are not comprehending what I'm trying to tell y'all. He's saying it's not going to take me 3 years to win. The problem is you don't believe it, everybody, and you don't believe it, unbeliever in purple and gold. All right, that's just what it is. But I love this quote. Where he just doubles down on what he's already said. Because, I'm not playing with y'all. I'm serious. Water going to wine is not something that's normal. That's not typical. You don't see that every day. And you know what else you don't see every day? A team winning the Celebration Bowl in year 1. But you know what's about to happen? Exactly that. That's exactly what's about to happen. Just as miraculous as them going to them water pots and seeing that, hey, listen, Jesus had turned water into wine. Now we can go back and forth because I can hear people in the chat already right now. Now we can debate on if that was actually literal alcoholic wine or if that was fresh juice squeezed from the grape. Because listen, that was that fresh juice squeezed from the grape, right? We can have that discussion offline. That's another conversation for another time. But listen, the point is, water don't turn into the wine by itself. That's not something you don't see every day. You don't see that every day. And you don't see every day a team is about to do what Big PV about to do this year. Big PV AMU. With that being said, listen, make sure y'all are back. Make sure y'all are back on Sunday because we're gonna deep dive into this interview. Man, listen, he dropped some gems, has some great thoughts in this interview. Hey, I can't wait for Swag Media Day. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't wait for Swag Media Day. I can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think Swag Media Day is gonna be awesome. I can't wait till Coach Tremaine Jackson gets in front of the cameras and tells people no, I believe that we're going to win. Why would I believe we're going to lose? That makes no sense. That don't make no sense. Okay? So with that said, man, I hope you guys are geared up. I hope you guys are excited for what's about to transpire and what's about to go down. I mean, listen, as the time gets closer, the heat is going to be, you're going to feel the heat more and more and more until August 30th when we come off that hill. So, with that said, man, I appreciate all y'all for joining in and for jumping online this evening. Talk about big PVMU. Um, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it with my own eyes, man. I've already seen some stuff, but when we put it all together at the end of August, it's gonna get scary in the SWAC. It's gonna get very scary in the SWAC because listen, the big bad wolf, the big bad Panthers, coming off that hill. See y'all later.